I'm Dylan.
And I'm Sam. And this is the Last Minute Sports Podcast.
Episode 8, right?
Yeah, and we are going to start this episode off with, I almost said the WNBA, with the NBA. And the first game we're going to go into, these teams actually matched up twice this week, is the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Boston Celtics.
Both actually went into overtime.
And the Cavs won, both of them.
Yeah, I thought in the second one we might have had a little change of events, but we just didn't at all.
Yeah, we're actually going to go a little early. My player of the week, Donovan Mitchell. He balled out in both of these games. In the second one, the one that happened, I believe it was Tuesday night, or is it Wednesday night? Wednesday night. It was the Wednesday night one. Yeah. He only had about 13 points before the final 5 minutes, and he went off in the final 5 minutes. He was driving to the lane, he was shooting threes, he had a couple step backs, and then in overtime, him and Darius Garland, who came back from injury, they balled out, and they've only played 2 games together, and their chemistry is a little bit better than LeBron and Anthony Davis's chemistry.
That's funny. I don't disagree with you, but that's really funny. But let's not forget LeVert. LeVert in overtime dropped 41 points in total on the Friday night game.
Yeah, both Donovan Mitchell and LeVert had over 40 points. That they're the first player to do that in a couple of years to both drop 40 points.
Yeah,
in the same night.
They're great games. The Cavs, I mean, it did both go into overtime, but I think the Cavs overall dominated the entire game, really.
Yeah, Jason Tatum had a great driving dunk to send the second game to overtime, and hell of a dunk right over Jared Allen, but in overtime the Cavs dominated. Jared Allen was blocking shots, Mobley was getting steals, everyone was cooperating, and this Cavs team, I think they're a top 3 team.
Yeah, I do want to say though, I mean the Celtics were playing well. They did lose, yes, but I mean how do you still feel? I mean a couple weeks ago when Ime Udoka did get suspended, you did say the Celtics weren't gonna bounce back or be the same Celtics. Do you take that back maybe?
No,
they didn't win, but
they're 3-5, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
I believe they're 3-5. Either they're 3-5 or 4-4. I think they're 4-4.
They're 4-3.
4-3. Well, okay. So they lost the Cavs twice, and they lost to... I think they lost to the Raptors. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they did.
They beat the Wizards on Sunday. But, I mean, we're starting to see...
Oh, no, they lost to the Bulls.
Bulls.
My Bulls beat them.
They played the Bulls again tonight, I believe. We're starting to see the Ime Udoka effect kind of tear off. And speaking of Ime Udoka, he just got hired by the Nets, who just fired Steve Nash.
Yeah, I thought it was rumored.
No, he did.
Oh, he fully got... Okay.
Almost 100% sure.
I predicted Nash getting fired. I said he would get fired before the end of the season. No one remembers this.
I don't think you expected it to be this early into the
season.
No,
No, I did not. I did expect it to be relatively... I expected it before All-Star break. That's how soon I expected. Obviously, we all knew Ben Simmons wasn't going to be good. He hasn't played... Huh?
I mean,
I expected him to just be not good. Steve Nash hasn't really done much.
Yeah, I mean, he got thrown out of the game against Milwaukee, and the Nets continue to have their struggles with, and also especially Kyrie Irving out 5 games with his anti-Semitic comments, and it's deserved.
Yeah, no pay as well. I don't think he had any intention on meaning that, but, it's not right.
I mean, yeah, dude, come on.
We're not really going to get into that.
For someone who's as woke as him to be posting stuff like that, it's just... come on. There's really no other things to say than just come on. But we do have an exciting upcoming week because for the first time in many years, we have all 30 teams in action on Monday because Tuesday is Election Day, so there's no games.
Let's see. I mean, who do your Heat play on Tuesday?
I want to say Charlotte, but I'm not sure. I can look. Tuesday. Or not Tuesday, you mean Monday. The Miami Heat play the Portland Trailblazers.
Is Dame back?
I don't think Dame's going to be back yet.
Well, speaking of the Heat, you guys did lose to the Golden State Warriors.
And Kings.
You wanted to talk about that.
No, I want to talk about the Heat winning against the Warriors.
The Heat win against the Warriors?
Yes. Very controversial ending. Many people believe Curry got fouled on that 3-point shot. I didn't see it, but I'm a Heat fan, so I will not admit to that. Although I will admit that Tyler Hero's game winner against the Kings Wednesday night, it was a travel.
I was just about to say that you don't want to admit that, but
it was 100% a foul.
First thing when I saw Sam today, I immediately said, "So you enjoying your illegitimate win?"
You know what? That happens all the time in every sport.
Yeah, I was just...
It's a hell of a shot.
I was just breaking his chops.
It was a great shot. A leaner 3. I mean, come on. It was a hell
Steph
of a shot
Curry did have a triple-double that game, though. But speaking of a hell of a shot...
Jimmy took over in that in that fourth quarter.
Speaking of a hell of a shot, the DoorDash driver, Matt Ryan, hits a game-tying 3 to send it into overtime.
Yeah, that was a great, and that led to the Lakers' first win. Or second
win.
Against the Pelicans, who, after a great start, Pelicans fallen off a bit. But
I do love how Matt Ryan was trending on Twitter, and all the Colts sports pages had to wake up and said, "Go to sleep, Colts fans. It's not the Matt Ryan you're thinking of."
I mean, Colts fans were probably hoping that he got cut or something, so they don't have to pay all of that contract. But, so we did see Kyle Lowry move up to, I believe, 13th or 14th on the all-time three-point list. He passed up 2 spots. He had a great game in that Kings game. He had 17 in the first quarter. He was really efficient shooting, and he had a really important turnaround jumper at the baseline that led eventually to Tyler Hero's game winner.
Yeah, before we talk about some more great performances by NBA players, let's talk about James Harden real quick. Out for a month.
The right knee strain, I believe. Yeah.
That's a big loss in my opinion for them. I mean, the 76ers have been pretty underwhelming
but Harden's been good.
Harden's been good. But let's talk about some good performances. Maybe SGA.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of my favorite players in the league. I think he's so underrated, and this season he is balling out. He's averaging 31.5 points per game. That's ridiculous. And you know what? This Thunder team is 4-4 after their loss to the Nuggets last night. I fell asleep watching that game.
Better than I thought they would be without Chet.
Yeah, I think we're going to see... I think if you're fantasy basketball-wise, just a little tip, I would sell Shea high right now because he's going to be arrested towards the end of the season when they try and tank for Wembanyama. Southern team's not going to be good. Shea is the bright spot, and I think he is the future for this team. Even if they do get Wembanyama, Shea's still the centerpiece of this team.
Yeah, Shea dropped 37 points in the previous game, but that wasn't even the main highlight of the previous game against the Nuggets. The Joker actually broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for most triple-doubles by a center ever.
Yeah, already. Jokic, I believe, is 25 years old, so he definitely has time to move up that list. I mean, Luka, he's sitting at the 10th most triple-doubles of all time, and it's his fourth season? 2019, 2020, 2021. Yeah, 5th season. It's his 5th season. I mean, Luka's insane. His dominance it's ridiculous. He's dropping points like it's nothing. He has the 3rd most games all time to start the season off. He has the first 7 games. He has over 30 points.
How ballsy would it be to say Luka's the best player in the league at the moment so far this season?
I think this season he's been the best. I still think Giannis. He still needs a little bit more to pass up Giannis as the best player in the world. But I mean, Luka's damn close. He's ridiculous.
Speaking of Giannis, the Bucks, I'm pretty sure, are 7-0, which is the only undefeated team left.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best team in the league. I think that the Cavs are probably the 2nd best team in the league. But pure dominance from the Bucks. Giannis having an MVP caliber season, he would be, in my opinion, Luka's the MVP frontrunner. He's averaging 37, 9, and 9. I mean, Giannis has been great, too. We obviously know how dominant he is in the paint, and his shooting percentages have gotten better to start off this season.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff happening in basketball, but we're getting to the point of the year in college football where playoffs are being talked about.
Yeah.
We have upset watch, but I want to talk about the college football playoff ranking that came out earlier this week.
Yeah, we're going to look at the top 15 teams, which means we don't get to talk about Dylan's Fighting Alumni. I don't care. Oh, wait, no, they're 14.
They're 4? Wait,
hold on. No. This is the AP top 25.
Yeah, you want to look at the playoff. We are going to mention them because they got screwed out of a top 15 spot, in my opinion.
Who, the Illinois?
Illinois got.
Well,
yes, I will give you my reasoning.
They've had an easier schedule. Let's not.
Well, so has Michigan, but obviously the top 3. I don't have an issue with it. Georgia, Ohio State, and Tennessee. Obviously, they're my top 3. Right. How do you not? They're most dominant teams, and realistically, they have 2 out of 3 of them have a quarterback that's going to go in the first round. I don't know about Bennett, but Hendon Hooker and C.J. Stroud are most definitely going in the first round.
Right, and then we have Alabama a little lower with Bryce Young. He'll go in the first round.
Yeah, Clemson and Michigan are 4 and 5, and Bama's 6. Bama is where I start to have an issue with this. I think TCU is the better team. TCU is also undefeated. I think this is where we start seeing this SEC bias, which we've seen in the past, and we are seeing again.
And that's another reason why it'll be great to have the 12-team college football playoffs in 2026, I believe.
Yeah, they are pushing for 2024. I mean, part of me wants it to be 3 teams in the SEC because I feel like a lot of other divisions will push up.
Well, I just think it needs to be as soon as possible. I genuinely have no idea why they couldn't have just started it next year. It makes no sense why they can't just start it as soon as possible.
Yeah,
it's not like you're building anything.
Yeah, I don't understand how or why. 2024 seems like the earliest start date, if possible.
Unless they have some type of weird contract.
I think they have a contract.
It has to be
with,
something like that.
Someone.
Where legally they have to.
I really started to have an issue around the 10 spot, because there's no way 6-2 LSU should be number 10 on the list.
I don't think that USC should be that high. After
I
their
don't
loss
think-
to Utah.
I don't think any Pac-12 team should be this high. Yes, Oregon is good. Yes, USC is good. I get they're both 7-1, but realistically speaking, they're not great. If you put Oregon against Ohio State, I think Ohio State will blow them
I don't think
away.
Utah should be number 14 either. Like my boy James Draws on TikTok said, USC, what happened? How do you lose to Utah?
Yeah, like I said, Sam said we're not going to talk about Illinois, but I think we should. I think Illinois should be at least in the top 15. I think they're better than Penn State. Penn State has just kind of fallen off since the beginning of the season. They've lost. Yes, their 2 losses are to Michigan and Ohio State, but they haven't looked good in their other games. And they almost lost to Northwestern. I think it was like 14-7 the final score.
But if we're going to be honest here, the thing that everyone's really looking at this week is number 1 Tennessee against number 3 Georgia.
I agree with that. I take Tennessee winning that. It's game of the week. It's college game day. I have Tennessee winning that.
I think Georgia's going to win.
It's going to be a good game. And I really think this will decide who wins SEC title more than college championship.
Fundamentally, I think Georgia's a better team. Just straight fundamentals, and I think that's what's going to win this very close game. It's gonna be close.
But now it is my favorite segment, because it is my segment, Upset Watch. Sam's not going to like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I have number 20 Syracuse losing to Pitt this weekend. Both of these teams are on a 2-game loss streak. I get Pitt has been pretty underwhelming this season. But, I mean, I feel like Syracuse, those 2 wins have just hit them harder than these 2 losses to Pitt.
Yeah,
these 2 losses.
I think Syracuse is going to rebound.
They should. If they don't, they're in a lot of trouble. Because I feel like this is the game where it hits them and recruitment might be a little low.
Yeah.
After this game. But that's...
let's be honest here. We're still talking about Syracuse and football, right?
Yeah.
Those 2 things don't mesh well together.
Unless it was the 80s.
It's really Syracuse and basketball. That's what you associate with Syracuse. Carmelo Anthony,
Yeah. I have number 24, Texas, upsetting number 13, Kansas State.
I like this one. I think Texas just got plagued by injuries at the beginning of the year. With the whole Alabama game, the early game on the season, I think that they've been plagued. I think Texas is going to win this one. I agree with you on this one.
Yeah, we are gonna. I have some people that might text me and be like, "But Dylan, you took the Kansas State Wildcats to win the past 2 wins and upset." Yes, but now this not only helps my Fighting Illini, this also helps my ego. But no, realistically, I think Texas is the better team.
I agree.
Kansas State still. Martinez, their quarterback, is questionable. That's still a big loss for them. And I just think Texas is actually the better team right here.
I agree with that one.
This is the balls to the wall. This is the biggest one. You ready?
Huge. This one has huge playoff implications.
Overall
ranking.
Really, this one might actually eliminate this team from the playoffs just because of their division.
How many teams are eligible for playoffs?
4.
No, I'm saying
eligible? I want to say 20-something.
It's still 20? I thought you said last week.
Yes, but with Wake Forest losing, the ACC is kind of wide back open again.
Oh.
You ready? Drum roll, please. I have number 4, Clemson, losing to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, if Clemson loses this game, Michigan moves up to 5. Michigan moves up to 4. Alabama would move up to 5. And I just hate that.
I think TCU should move up.
I just hate that because I don't want Alabama making the playoffs this year.
I realistically think TCU should move up over Bama. But, you know what? Bama's not going to move up. You want to know why, Sam? Because they're going to lose this weekend to LSU.
I think LSU's ranking has got them super hyped. So the great atmosphere in Baton Rouge. That game is in Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's going to mainly play in this. Yes, Bama is accustomed with playing games in loud arenas, but that doesn't. Loud stadiums, but that doesn't mean anything.
Who else did LSU lose to? They lost to Florida State and who else? Because I know that
Tennessee.
The Florida State game, that one was really questionable towards the end.
Yeah, there was a lot of missed stuff.
They sold. Yeah. I don't like that one. I think Bama's better than that. I mean, let's be honest here. You know what? Bama is 7-0 against teams not named Tennessee Volunteers. Yes, it's a shaky 7-0. They're still 7-0 against non-Tennessee.
Yeah, I do want to say, though, they did let Tennessee score 52 points.
Tennessee also let them score 49 points.
That is true. I feel like this game might be a shootout. We've seen that for a lot of SEC games. A lot of these SEC games are
Alabama
high
games.
scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my 4 upset games. Obviously, the Clemson one's a bit of a stretch, but it could possibly happen because the Fighting Irish do show up for those type of games.
All right, so that's going to do it for Upset Watch. Now we're going to quickly talk about the World Series. Game 6 is tomorrow, or is it
Game
tonight?
6 is tomorrow in Houston.
So. Yeah, 3-2. Astros have the lead, one more win, and they win the World Series.
Yeah, let's back up a little bit. We're going in Game 6 tomorrow, but in Game 2, the umpire actually called a perfect game, first ever in history.
That's got to be one of the most impressive things I've ever heard. How you not just even blinking for half a second when staring at that ball can mess it up, and how you do that 128
Angel Hernandez
times.
could never do that. Yeah, and not to mention, in that game, I believe the Phillies won 7-0, and I think that actually might have screwed them over in this series.
So I want to ask you a question. So last night, obviously, we had the Eagles and Texans, and we had the Phillies and Astros. What do you think more people tuned into? I still think that more people tuned into Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I think the only thing that might have hindered the viewership a little bit is because it's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I mean, but let's be honest here. If you're living in America, you have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but here's my question for you. Jalen Hurts grew up in Houston, is a Houston Astros fan, all that.
He's rooting for the Phillies.
Is he rooting for the Phillies or is he rooting for the Astros?
I mean, he's rooting for the Phillies, but I just want to back up a little bit back to the thing about who tuned into more. I mean, my dad said this before. Americans snort football for the glorious...
No, they do.
For the glorious, 21 weeks that it's on a year. So I think no matter what, football will always out viewership.
But back to what I was saying. Phillies won Game 2 7-0. I think that might have lost them this series because they kind of just blew all their offense on Game 2.
Yeah, they've been in a Houston won Game 3. They won last night 5-0, right?
They've won, Houston has won...
I think they won Game 3 5-0, or is it Game 4 5-0?
They've won Game 3 and Game 5 because it's 3-2.
Oh, right. So one of the games they won 5-0, just a lot of shutouts.
I believe that was Game 3.
Games really have not been close in these World Series.
Other than last night, I think last night was a 1-score game, and actually, didn't the first game go to extra innings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other three, the other three being blowouts.
Shootouts.
Blowouts. Yeah.
Blowouts. Yeah. Not shootouts. But let's just quickly talk about. I've had some people shoot me messages saying, "What about hockey?" And let's do this weekly catch-up of what's happened in hockey right now. You want to take it off right now?
Yeah, my Sabres, a shocking 7-3 start. Right?
Yeah.
7-3 start. I mean, it's the Sabres. No one would have ever expected it. And the Sabres, I'm actually going to be at the Sabres-Bruins game on November 12th. Well, I mean, the Bruins are the best team in the league right now. They're not even fully healthy.
I believe they are 10-1.
9-1, you said.
9-1? I'd have to check that. They're either 9-1 or 10-1. And they're not even fully healthy.
Right.
That's going to be such a scary team when they are. But I want to talk about that Sabres game. Those reverse retro jerseys are so nice.
The old logo, it looks really nice.
Yeah. Quick go through. Bruins, best team in the league. New Jersey Devils, shocking. They're 8-3 to start the season. No one would have thought of that. McDavid, obviously, one of the best players in the league. The best. He's leading MVP discussion already. And I believe he's close to the most points already.
One thing I actually don't like, I don't like how I'm getting all these posts on Instagram, and I've seen about hockey too, both hockey and basketball, about how early they talk about MVP. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
I can't deal with that. All-Star break is when you should start talking about it.
People in football do it, like, to a point, but it's like every single, week I get update, who's at the top of the MVP ladder? Who cares? The MVP's not till... They don't even really have, a formal ceremony for MVP in basketball. So what's the hype around it? I mean, still a very important award, but I mean, we don't need to be hearing about it 2 weeks into
St. Louis Blues, I believe they're 3-6. This is a team that won the Stanley Cup. I was about to say World Series. Yeah. The Stanley Cup, I believe in 2018, 2017. That's not great. Let's talk about the best defender technically in the league right now is Erik Karlsson.
They won in 2019.
2019, so that's even more recent. Erik Karlsson has 15 points right now. 9 goals and 6 assists as a defender, not a wing, not a center. That is, he leads defensive in the entire league right now.
Good start to the season for him.
Yeah, he plays currently for the Sharks, the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not a great team. But that's got to do it for the weekly rundown of the National Hockey League.
And now it's time for my top 5 and bottom 5 teams. And we have a bit of a shakeup. Top 3 teams are still the same: Bills, Chiefs, Eagles. Eagles with a great win over the Steelers. A.J. Brown dominating performance. Bills, a little bit of a rough win against the Packers. Not all wins are going to be pretty. Chiefs, bye week, not going to move them. Vikings move up to 4. We got big trade for them, getting the missing piece in their offense, T.J. Hawkinson. Great trade. Good
Huge
win.
trade.
Good comeback win, or not comeback win, just good win against the Cardinals. Niners, Christian McCaffrey is God. So those are my top 5. Niners at 5. You actually commented a couple weeks ago on me having the Niners at number 5. Niners have a great defense when Christian McCaffrey is throwing the ball better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, this team's going to be good.
Yeah, the Christian McCaffrey trade was phenomenal. It looked like it worked out better for both teams at this point now, which is a shock. No one would have
Panthers have
thought that.
certainly been better without him.
Deonta Foreman has actually been phenomenal. Actually,
It was one game, yeah.
2 games technically.
Yeah?
Yeah, he had
Right, against the
he had a hat
Bucs.
trick, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a hat trick against the Falcons.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
and then he
I don't know
had
what
he had
against
around
the
2
Bucs.
touchdowns against the Bucks.
Oh, 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then my bottom 5, the worst team in football is the Lions. Absolutely blew the lead against the Dolphins. Texans sitting at number 2. Keep in mind, these are technically the pre-Week 9 power rankings, so last night's game does not factor into it. Steelers got blown out by the Eagles. Minkah Fitzpatrick proving why he has sucked. After Week 1, he got wrestled by Gabe Davis in the Steelers game. He got absolutely bitched by A.J. Brown. Panthers move up to 4. Almost amazing win by P.J. Walker and D.J. Moore. Joey... Ooh, what's his last name? Joey something. Joey Sly blew that game for them. And number 5 is the Jags. They started 2-1. They've lost their last 5. So those are my top 5 and bottom 5 teams.
I completely agree with that. You know what? Out of all the ones that I'm sad for, it's the Lions fans. Are you guys okay?
It was Dylan and I, we've talked about this before. When they were 1-1,
we thought they
boom,
were a
wild card.
We thought they looked phenomenal. That offense looked fantastic. And I don't want to say it, MCDC might be gone by the end of the season. I don't want to say it.
He probably will be. And
Which is sad.
He's created a great culture, but when you've won, they won 3 games last year?
Yeah.
When you've
And one
won
tie.
four games, right? Out of what, they've played 7 games this year? Yeah, they played 7 games. When you've won 4 out of 24 games, 16% win percentage, I mean, it's hard to stay.
It's hard to break a culture of losing.
It is. All right, now we're going to move into our weekly breakdowns of every game, and we're going to start with the first non-Thursday night game of the week, Broncos, Jags, and this was a London game.
There's nothing to talk about.
The Jags...
other than Travis Etienne playing phenomenal, there's nothing to talk about in this game.
Evan Ingram was pretty good. We've seen him have 2 good weeks in a row, not dropping the ball as much as he did in New York. Trevor Lawrence had a great start to the game, and once he threw that pick in the goal line to Justin Simmons, this game went downhill for them. Russell Wilson probably played his best game of the season.
Actually, yeah.
Second half.
This is actually his
second
best
half.
game.
He led
of the season.
He led a 98-yard drive, which resulted in a Jerry Jeudy rushing touchdown. Greg Dulcich had a night game. Ooh. Greg Dulcich had a great game.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just wasn't a good game. We all knew it wasn't going to be good.
But from this Broncos team, it was a good win for them.
Yes and no. As a fan of the Broncos, let me just ask this question to the audience real quick. As a fan of the Broncos,
Yep.
with this win, you have Hackett for at least one more week, but you have a win. But was it worth it?
I don't think so. They need.
I think they need Hackett gone.
Who the hell? I mean, I think that right now, we're talking about coaching, I think the premier candidate to be a head coach is Leslie Frazier.
Yes.
The Bills' defensive coordinator. He's led them to being the top defense 2 years in a row.
I forgot to mention this when we were in the college football segment. Auburn's head coach was fired this past week.
Okay.
And no, wait, there's more. Primetime is
Deion.
leading the discussion for head coach.
Yeah, Jackson State's 8-0.
Yeah, but the question is, what's going to happen if he leaves for Auburn?
That'll be interesting.
It will be because of what he's been saying about Jackson State.
You made me lose my train of thought. Oh, yeah, Leslie Frazier. He's been a phenomenal coordinator. I don't want to see him leave, but it'll be interesting that the Bills lost their offensive coordinator this year, who went on to be a hell of a coach in New York. And I don't think Leslie Frazier will be as good. Obviously, he has a great defensive mind, but he doesn't have that passion that Brian Daboll has. But you also see a lot of top coaches don't have a lot of passion. Sean McDermott He's a very calm coach, but you know what? The Bills are 6-1.
Sean McVay has pretty good passion with his team about that.
McVay does.
McVay, yeah.
Didn't I say McDermott?
You said McDermott.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I think McVay has passion with his team.
Mike Tomlin used to have passion. Now that his team is
he
so
just seems
bad.
kind of dead to the world right now.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy looks like he might.
Mike
McDaniels.
McDaniels. I was about to say, Mike McCarthy's never shown emotion.
He should have been gone last season, in my opinion. McCarthy.
I mean, he led them to the playoffs. You're really not going to fire a coach. I mean,
I just think he should have.
I totally think the Raiders should have kept. What was his name?
The interim coach.
What was his name? It starts with an R.
I'm not going to be able to get this.
Rigoberto Raiders.
But yeah, once again, circling back to the Broncos-Jags game, there's not really a lot to talk about. Travis Etienne had a great game, and it proves why trading James Robinson wasn't a mistake.
Yeah. Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah, they should have kept him. But yeah, I think this game proved that Travis Etienne was... Etienne. Did I say Etienne? I'm having a horrible day with words today.
Etienne.
Yeah, Etienne. I'm having a horrible day with words
Yeah,
today.
156 yards, I believe, on the ground. Phenomenal game from him, and I think that's all we have to talk about that game.
Let's talk about a choke situation. You know, Dolphins-Lions.
Yeah, this was a shootout in the first half. Really slowed to a crawl in the second half with Lions going on an early drive. And Tua, man, as much as I hate to say it, he had a good game. It was against the Lions. It's going to be a while until you hear me say, wow, Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback.
Yeah, Lions, they were up 27-17 at halftime.
Raheem Mostert really disappointed me. I started him at fantasy, and he didn't do jack.
Well, the question is he running back one now?
I think that the real question is Tyreek Hill the best receiver in the league? Possibly.
Possibly.
Tyreek Hill is better in Miami than he was in KC.
Wow.
Because you know what? What did the Dolphins do? What did the Dolphins do?
Wow.
What is my saying? What is it?
Wow.
The Dolphins get the ball to their star players. Tyreek Hill has had 3 games this season of double-digit receptions. And when, he's having about the same yardage. He has a lot more than he normally does. But in Kansas City, he'd have, 5 catches for 130. This year, he's going to have 9 catches for 130. And it makes a difference. Because multiple big plays are better than one 80-yard touchdown. I'd rather have 4 20-yard plays across multiple drives than one 80-yard play. I think Tyreek Hill is better in Miami than he is in Kansas City. And I don't think that's a hot take.
I think it might be a hot take. I really do.
He's having the best year of his career. He's almost 1,000 yards 8 games into the season.
Are we just not going to talk about how Mike McDaniels is just recreating the 49ers on the Dolphins? Backfield, and just the style.
Yeah, they now have Jeff Wilson after a trade that sent Chase Edmonds.
I like that trade. I like that one.
I think the bigger trade is the Bradley Chubb trade. Dylan and I had a pretty long talk in the car about how we don't think Bradley Chubb is him. Very injury prone. Risky trade to give him $120 million contract.
I'm more or less angry about the fact that they gave him a 5-year, $120 million contract than that they gave a first round to him, because the first round technically wasn't, they got it from
it was the
Niners.
Niners.
Trade. It was the Niners. But I just don't understand. I never understand for any player trade the reasoning behind signing a player to a massive contract before he even plays a game for you.
Well, I think we've seen it work before. Von Miller.
Yes.
But yeah, I kind of agree with that. But I think that the Dolphins arguably have the best trade in NFL history. That Laramie Tunsil trade has led them to having Bradley Chubb, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal for them.
And he is still rotting away on that Texans team, and the Dolphins have gotten so much better.
I think even if Bradley Chubb sucks, I still think they won that
one
trade.
of the best trades ever.
Yeah,
Well, they definitely won it. They have
nothing's as good as
Dylan. Would you rather have Laramie Tunsil or Tyreek Hill? You answer that.
Oh, that's
question.
a tough one.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Nothing's as good though as the Cowboys-Vikings trade.
Oh, Herschel Walker. Well, what about the Saints trading away their entire draft for Ricky Williams?
Ooh,
That was a good one.
we need to look at the players that the other teams got with those picks though, for it to be, because you got to think Dallas got Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and
You still traded away your
Michael Irvin.
entire draft.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
horrible.
inexcusable.
But I'm just saying, Dallas got 3 Super Bowls out of it.
Later round picks still have value. I mean, the Bills picked Gabe Davis with the 4th round pick. Tom Brady was picked with the 6th round pick. Antonio Brown, who honestly I believe Antonio Brown is the second best receiver talent. No, third. Sorry.
Don't say
Third,
all
third.
time.
The third all time.
Really?
1 Jerry Rice, 2 Randy Moss, 3 Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's dominance over those 6
You're
years.
telling me Antonio Brown's better than Marvin Harrison?
Yeah.
Really?
You think Marvin Harrison's a top 3 receiver?
No, but I just don't.
Yes,
I don't
he's
think AB's a top 3.
AB clears Marvin Harrison.
What?
I think Terrell Owens. I think he's overrated.
Oh my
I think
God.
parts of it is that he could not stay on a team, and I genuinely think that does show parts of a player. If you are so like selfish and caught up, I think that shows parts of it. And Antonio Brown's stretch with the Steelers was the best in NFL history. He averaged like
I won't disagree with you on that.
Right.
I just don't think he's top 3
in his
of all time.
prime Antonio Brown's the best
Prime
receiver.
Antonio Brown's
He's the
a
best
great
receiver in
receiver.
NFL history. Prime Antonio Brown is the best.
Oh my God.
Career wise, what he's like? Okay, Dylan, it's not that absurd. He's like
It is
13,000.
pretty absurd.
He's like 13,000 career
It is
receiving
very
yards.
absurd.
It's not.
He's a good receiver. He's a great receiver, but it's
He's the second most talented receiver in NFL
Larry
history.
Fitzgerald. You're telling me?
Larry Fitzgerald, I believe, is one of the most overrated receivers in NFL history.
Oh my goodness.
Larry Fitzgerald was never a top 3 receiver in the league.
Oh my God, we're gonna argue about this later. but
Fitzgerald was never a top 3 receiver in the league.
Oh my!
Tell me that he
really?
was.
Larry Fitzgerald.
His longevity. You know what? He had like 1,000 yards.
We need to stop arguing about this because we got to move on.
And
to
I
the next
hate
game.
I hate this the stigma on him that he had more career tackles than he did drops. That's not true. It's an inaccurate stat. It's false. Antonio Brown is the 3rd best receiver in NFL history. His pure dominance at the position for as long as it was is insane. He made the most insane catches, jump balls when you're 5'10", the insane toe taps. He could beat anyone. He was the best route runner in the league. And I hate him as a person. He's the 3rd best receiver of all time.
I just don't agree. I really don't.
That's my diatribe.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, moving on. What is our next game, Sam?
How did we even stem to that? What were we talking about?
I have no clue.
Oh, the best trades, right? Oh, yeah, I was mentioning. I was mentioning how later round picks.
Oh my
have
goodness!
value.
I forgot we were supposed to do the biggest what ifs this week.
I was thinking.
I
that
would just
too.
remember that. Oh my God!
Next week, folks. We promise we'll do it next week.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
We'll remember next week because I just thought of it.
What's the
I was
next
gonna say-
game? Hit us with the next game. We gotta
Okay.
move on. Oh my! That was like a 5-minute rant.
It's okay. It's all true.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I'm gonna put up a poll on Instagram later asking everyone if they think Antonio Brown's a top 3 receiver of all time.
Okay.
I guarantee that. It's a true.
What's the next game, Sam?
And I'm sorry,
Oh my.
I'm okay with doing this because the next game's Panthers Falcons. Julio Jones is a topic on the Falcons. I don't think it's even close. I think Antonio Brown clears Julio Jones. I think Antonio Brown clears Julio Jones.
I'm
It's
crying.
not close.
Oh, this is actually
Julio's
hilarious.
his lack of ability to get into the end zone,
His lack of knees also.
and yeah,
What's the next
I
game?
love Antonio Brown. I'm looking at my Antonio Brown jersey in my closet. As a player, he's one of my favorites of all time.
What is the next game?
Okay, Panthers have an almost insane comeback with PJ Walker having the best throw since Aaron Rodgers against the Cowboys in the playoffs in 2016. To me, that's one of the best throws in NFL history. You know which one, right? The one to Jared Cook, where Rodgers falling out of bounds throws it to Cook, toe tap.
That's a good one, but you know
One
what
of
else
the
is a good
best
Hail Mary?
What?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, you know what? You know what?
No, I'm gonna say because the NFL literally asked people which was a better Hail Mary.
Well, I mean, to be honest, the DJ Moore one wasn't a Hail Mary, guys. This was a designed play.
No, it was a
And-
streak. It was a streak.
Right, it
Yeah,
wasn't a
streak
Hail
route.
Mary. Hell of a route. Dean Marlowe got cooked, and Dean Marlowe was just traded back to the Bills. He was on the Bills last year. He got
Phenomenal.
traded
I don't
back to
blame
the NFL.
DJ Moore for taking his helmet
I
off.
don't
You
either.
just hit a walk off. I'm giving air
Game-winning
quotes.
touchdown.
It's a game-winning touchdown. But let's talk Panera. Panera?
Eddie Pinheiro.
Yeah. Pinheiro.
Wait,
That's
it was
the
so
kicker.
who's? Oh, Joey Sly was our kicker last year. Eddie
Pinheiro.
Pinheiro. You said Panera.
Did I say Panera? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I'm
You
having
said-
an issue with
you
words.
s-
We're not getting into this
You
argument
said
now.
Eddie Pinheiro.
You know what? There's gonna be a
Yeah,
segment
Pinheiro.
next week of just us arguing about stuff.
I
Because
like
that'll be I like that.
Um,
yeah. This is a game-winning extra point and a game
48 yard, no gimme.
Yeah,
That's
no,
about
it
the same
wasn't a
like the
gimme extra
Scott
point. Yeah, it
Norwood's
was
missed
not-
field goal to beat for the Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Love that moment.
You know what? What about God? There's the Colt. Well, how about this? The Colts ran the worst play in NFL history. The one on Sunday night against the Patriots. Where
Oh, boo-hoo, it was a punt play.
it's the worst play in NFL history.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Without a doubt.
Well, you know it was a mistake, right? It was never supposed to happen.
it happened.
It had a... Yeah,
You know
I know.
what?
It
It
did
happened.
happen.
It
The
happened.
person that was supposed to just hold the ball on center was a backup player who just never ran that play. I don't know why, but Chuck Pagano's an idiot.
But regardless, DJ Moore by far his best game of the year, I thought, and I think honestly a reason why he wasn't traded was because of this great game.
Well, also, he was dubbed a key player. They said this.
Yeah.
They said he was a key building player. But
But you know what? When a team offers you a first round pick for him, a lot of things change. Once
Well,
a first round
apparently
pick
Brian
is on the
Burns,
table.
they offered 2 first rounds for Brian Burns, which I don't
Who?
believe. The Rams. I don't believe that.
That's stupid. So
Yes,
I
the
did
Rams-
actually see
yeah,
that.
I don't
the Rams
believe-
don't have a first round pick.
Till 24.
Their last first round pick was Jared Goff, and they were not going to have one until 2026. It's ridiculous.
24. 26 if they made the trade.
16. That's what. Well, no, if they made the Brian Burns trade, they
Yeah,
wouldn't
they would have
until-
till 26. That's a full 10 years.
I mean, it's for the Rams need to rebuild.
They're-
They need to rebuild.
Oh, yeah, no, I know they will.
Get rid of Stafford this offseason when he still has some value. Genuinely. Trade
Yeah.
him to a team like... Actually, if the Giants don't take a quarterback, Stafford would be a good fit in New York. Although Daniel Jones has been pretty good.
I wouldn't be shocked if they re-signed Daniel Jones.
I think
I think they will.
they'll take his 5th-year deal. They're not going to
This
re-sign
is
him.
his 5th-year deal. He was a 2017 draft pick.
He was 2019.
Was he?
He was
Or
2019.
was he on his 5th year? He's on his 5th year.
19, 20, 21, 22. This is his 4th
I
year.
swear he's on his 5th year.
Well, this is his 4th year in the league.
But I swear he's on his 5th year.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
But, you know, the Falcons were... somehow a team was able to outchoke the Falcons.
I don't know how the Falcons won this game.
4-4, top of their division.
Yeah.
They honestly, there's a good chance they win it. I don't know if we've thought the Bucks were going to get back on track.
I forgot who
Doesn't
said it
really
today,
look
but
like
someone, I want to say on ESPN today, said the Buccaneers are soulless, which I agree with that. They
I mean,
lost.
Tom Brady has no passion right now.
He's playing a game to play, not for fun. I'm saying he's just playing, not like just.
He
to
has
play.
no passion. We normally see him, let's go, and we just haven't seen that recently.
And that's kind of affecting. I mean, Mike Evans has been kind of lackluster.
With the drops, yeah.
I don't
Chris
really know.
Godwin does.
Leonard Fournette.
Chris Godwin hasn't scored a touchdown this year. I know that. 'cause
Speaking
I
of
started
players,
fantasy.
we're changing games right now, just letting you know.
All right.
Speaking of players that haven't scored a receiving touchdown since week 1, Justin Jefferson.
Really?
Yeah, he has not scored a receiving touchdown since week 1.
No. Yes,
Yep.
he has.
Nope.
He had a rushing touchdown in London. against the
Receiving
Saints.
touchdown.
I
I say
know.
rushing?
There's really no. Really?
Yeah.
100% sure.
Hundo. Here's his game log.
Um.
Yeah, Vikings come out to win against the Cardinals. Big win for them. The Vikings are the better team in this situation.
Yeah. That's why they're fourth best team. The Hawkinson trade. I want to talk about DeAndre Hopkins, who has been the best receiver since he came back, proving I think everyone last year forgot about him due to injuries, didn't have a great season. But this year, I mean, through 2 weeks, he has like 23 catches and like 250 yards.
Yeah, Hopkins is phenomenal.
Hell of a one-handed catch touchdown that put them up late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Whew.
I just still think the Cardinals aren't good.
I
really
don't think they're as bad as their record shows. What, they're 3-5?
No, but the thing is,
Are they 3-5?
yeah, but for the Rams and the Cardinals, realistically, I think the playoffs are really out of reach at this point already for them. Seahawks lead and
The
49ers
division.
are second. I really think for the Cardinals and Rams, the playoffs are...
I think
Out
both
of
the
reach.
Seahawks and Niners make the playoffs regardless.
Who would have thought the Seahawks win the trade with losing?
Here's what I think happens. I think that the 49ers win the division. I think the Seahawks get the 6th seed, Cowboys get 5, and Giants get 7.
See, I think it's the other way around. I think Seahawks win the division.
I think the Rams are better than the Seahawks. Or
The Niners.
Definitely not. The Rams are definitely not. The Niners are. That's why I have them as the 5th best team in football.
Yeah, circling back to this, I really think the Vikings are just going to get better from here. That Hawkinson trade, huge in my opinion. Sam doesn't think it's as big as I do, but I think it is a phenomenal addition. Hawkinson is a great tight end. He's still young. I think it's a great addition.
Their offense is already so good, though. I don't think it's going to make that good of a that much of a difference. Because now, I think that the Bills' Naeem Hines trade is almost a bigger influence because it gives them the Bills' missing piece. Missing a running game is a much bigger difference than missing a tight end. Because when you have Justin Jefferson, the top 3 receiver in football, Adam Thielen, who is a good wide receiver too, and you have KJ Osborne as your third, who is underrated, and Dalvin Cook is your running back. I mean, I don't think it makes this team that much better.
I think it makes them better overall.
I think
it's one of these trades where time will tell.
I still
Who
think
knows?
that the Cowboys and Giants are bigger threats to the Eagles than the Vikings.
Yeah. There is a chance, this is a hot take in my opinion, I think we could see the NFC Championship of 2017 again.
Eagles, Vikings.
Yes.
I think
I'm hoping for a Vikings-Bills Super Bowl because I think that would be so funny.
Diggs.
Well, Diggs, but I was more thinking both teams are 0-4 in Super Bowls. So it literally, whoever loses is the worst of all time in big game moments.
Well, I would actually say the Bills are worse because when you lose 4 in a row, that's different than losing 4.
Well, yeah, but like, if you win one, the 4
Right.
are gone.
Right.
You know?
And the Bills would win that.
Who knows? No one, like, Super Bowls can go either way. We never know.
Well, Bills, Vikings play each other week 10, and I will be at that game looking forward to it so much. I cannot wait for the Bills to destroy, especially with Tre'Davious White coming back. Bears, Cowboys. Micah Parsons had a phenomenal defensive touchdown that resulted because Justin
DPOY.
Justin Fields jumped straight over Parsons, didn't touch him. Parsons gets up, scores a touchdown. Tony Pollard, a phenomenal weekend. We saw so many players have 3 touchdowns this week. Kamara, I think Pollard was close.
Just for reference, I'm too lazy to go back and
Brown.
edit this in. But throwback to last week, what did Sam and I say about Tony Pollard?
Better than Zeke.
Better than Zeke.
He is.
And what did this game prove?
He is.
He is.
He did have 3
hat-trick.
touchdowns. Yeah. Him, Foreman, Kamara, AJ Brown, all had 3 touchdowns. CMC, 3 touchdowns.
Is hat-trick technically one? Could we put a hyphen in there so it can be one word?
What?
Could we name it hat-trick? Or
Sure.
Hattie?
That's stupid.
Hat-trick.
Hat-trick.
We're going to break the one word,
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's still a phrase. As long as
this
that's
episode's
sentence.
being called hat-trick because there were like 4 hat-tricks.
I think fantasy, this was one of the best fantasy weeks we've seen in a while.
I won 60-something to 85.
I put up 140 in my family league, and I lost because my opponent had Waddle, Kamara, and CMC.
Just for reference, I had AJ Brown and Deonta Foreman.
Yeah, in my
Between
league,
the two, they had like 80 points.
in my league with my friends, I put up 160, and I was just relying on Joe Burrow sucking, and he did. But the Bears, a competent week from their offense, and I think that the Bears are actually really improving over the last 2 weeks. A great win against New England, and they put up 29 against the Dallas defense. And I know some of the points were garbage time. They had a touchdown in the 4th. But you know what? The Bears are improving, and Justin Fields is looking better.
Yeah, I want to talk about how Dak Prescott looked really good.
He did look good.
21 for 27. He had 1 interception, which I don't know how he threw that. I'm just saying. But I
The
think
Bears defense, who you throwing it to? Eddie Jackson. He hasn't
Yeah.
been good in years.
But he great 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. I think he looked really good. For reference, but obviously the star of the show for Dallas was Tony Pollard.
Yeah, and CeeDee Lamb's had a really disappointing year.
Noah Brown has had a pretty shocking year.
I think CeeDee Lamb was really overrated due to the fact that Amari Cooper was the wide receiver 1. He was being covered more. CD gets open more. I think CD's proving he's not a true wide receiver 1.
Speaking of hat tricks, let's talk about how a team just got shut out for the first time since I think 2012 when they lost 52-0 to the Rams. Let's talk about, in my opinion, in the bottom 5 team.
That's such a 2010s thing, Raiders, to do.
Yeah, let's talk about, in my team, one of the bottom 5 teams. You don't agree with this. The Raiders. Raiders losing 24-0 to the
Their roster's too good to be a bottom 5 team. If you look at my bottom 5 teams, right, all their rosters are collectively worse. If you put all their teams together, I think that roster would still be worse than the Raiders.
I want to talk about something real quick. I'm gonna go on a monologue here, okay?
Yep.
How the hell, with Josh Jacobs in the season he's having, do you only give him 10 effing rushes? How? Huh? How?
I mean, they didn't cross midfield until 6 minutes left.
But they
in the
only gave him
game.
the ball 10 times.
I mean, when you rush, it seems like what the Bills do. The Bills give up on their rushing game really early on. And that's
They
what
threw the ball
did.
26 times for 101 yards. Well, they completed only
They threw the ball
15.
39 times. Jared Stidham played.
But how do you not
13
hand
passes.
off to Josh Jacobs? He's having a phenomenal season. I don't get it.
Saints set the tone early, clearly.
Well, what you said, you get the ball to your star players,
You win games. They got to
and
Kamara.
Josh Jacobs this year is a
Yeah, and
Star player.
they didn't do it. Saints did. Kamara, almost 100 receiving yards, 2
He had like
scores.
45 fantasy points.
It was ridiculous. I mean, fantasy was just phenomenal this week. Tyreek, Waddle. I mean, it was phenomenal. One of my favorite fantasy weeks I've ever witnessed, and I've been playing it for 8 years at this point.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to... Sorry, I couldn't find it. Steelers-Eagles. A.J. Brown with performance of the week, in my opinion. He outmuscled...
Another Hattie.
It was like... Don't say that.
Why?
It was like... all three of his touchdowns were like exactly the same, just in the right part of the end zone, just out-muscling guys.
I believe the second and third touchdown were exactly the same.
Yeah.
Literally same play, same route, same coverage too. I think they were both double covered. My favorite image from this weekend is him pointing, like with one hand on his pointing at both.
He got flagged for that.
He did. Yeah, I mean, I figured, but
A.J. Brown, at this point, after Week 8, has more receiving yards than all Titans wide receivers combined.
Throwback to when everyone was like, "Why are you trading him away?" They drafted
Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks.
Yeah, they drafted Treylon Burks, and who hasn't played a game, I want to say, since week 2.
Yeah, I think the last game he played was against the Bills.
And even then, he did not look good. Hell, none of really the wide receivers in this draft class have looked good.
Garrett Wilson, Olave's
Olave's
been
looked good.
Drake London's been pretty good.
I mean, but like, have they been as good as the running backs?
No, then this is a generational running back class. Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall,
But nobody knew
Dameon
that.
Pierce.
Who expected David?
None of them went in the first round.
Pierce was a 4th rounder.
Actually, Kenneth Walker went in the first round.
Yeah.
He went 24, I think.
No, Breece Hall was
Breece Hall was second round. Kenneth Walker was
early
first.
second. But like, no one expected this. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be a phenomenal wide receiver draft." It's a good running back draft.
I think keep in mind, Jameson Williams hasn't played a snap yet. I think he was the best receiver from this draft.
Actually, he should be coming back in the next
Soon.
couple weeks.
Yeah,
'cause
I remember
it was in January.
we looked that up week 1 about when he was going to play.
It should be week 10 or 11 he should be coming back.
I just got to close the tab about me talking about, Antonio Brown being the best. 4 years of dominance, let's see. It doesn't really say. Is Jameson Williams playing this season? He
should.
He is expected to play this year. Doesn't say when.
But
again, A.J. Brown phenomenal week. Half of his catches were touchdowns. He had 6 catches, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns.
that actually might be one of the best wide receiver duos in the league.
Brown and Devontae Smith has actually been really inconsistent this year.
He
phenomenal
has.
game against the Commandos, and only 5
I think the Eagles won that trade though. No doubt in my
yeah.
mind. A.J. Brown has been phenomenal, and it proves what he can do with a good quarterback.
At first, I kind of thought this would be a similar trade to what happened, Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson. You trade away your star receiver, but then you sub him in for a guy who you think is going to be good, but Burks has not been that guy yet.
No.
He's only played a couple games, still time to develop. It's hard to be better than the best rack receiver in the NFL, who is.
I do think the Titans are still missing that key piece in their offense. I mean, obviously Derrick Henry's been a beast, but I mean in the receiving game they just kind of been lackluster. But speaking of a team that has
Titans
lost
have
their
won
star
5 in a row?
piece, you want to know a team that's lost their star piece that we saw this past week?
The New York Football Jets.
Where'd you get? Yeah, the New York Jets against the Patriots.
You haven't heard anyone call the Giants the New York Football Giants?
I heard the Giants one. I haven't heard the Jets one.
They play in the same spot. Why not?
But yeah, Zach Wilson actually played pretty
Horrendous.
decent, but decent wise for yardage, but like.
Oh,
his interceptions were horrible.
That interception when he was trying to throw the ball away is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think they got peer pressure into taking Zach Wilson in the draft, 2nd overall. There are better options, but looking back at it, I think the draft class last year was horrible for
the
quarterbacks.
2021. Oh my god!
And wasn't it supposed to be like the best draft class
One of
ever for
them.
quarterbacks?
Davis Mills has been the best. Legitimately, I'm not joking. He's been the best out of those.
Garrett
those
Wilson played
quarterbacks.
pretty well, 6 receptions, 115 yards, no touchdowns though. It's just no. Breece Hall missing
Mac
his
Jones'
frame.
career almost over. I mean, he's not.
Bailey
gonna be a
Zappi's
starter.
already played so much better.
Trey Lance, I think he's going to be the best from this class. He's been injured. He broke his ankle.
It's gonna be interesting.
He's had 2 career starts.
I know it's gonna be interesting. I mean, he has to come back from the injury now. He also has to deal with the pressure having to prove himself because he did go to North Dakota State.
Trevor Lawrence has been wildly disappointing.
Oh my God! Next Peyton Manning, my ass. Peyton is phenomenal.
Justin Fields has been good though. Recently, the last couple weeks, he's been good.
Justin Fields has been shockingly. I thought Justin Fields was going to be a great
We
quarterback.
could see him be like a Jalen Hurts once he gets a good wide receiver.
He did technically. I mean, technically speaking, he might have
got
gotten.
Chase
He got
Claypool.
Chase Claypool, which could be a good addition. Nobody knows. I like the trade. I'm one of the few people who actually like the trade.
I just want to have a quick moment of silence for the end of the Pittsburgh Steelers TikTok era. Both Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm kidding. It was that 2020 Steelers team was so funny. When Juju made the videos dancing on the Bills logo, Bills
and then
cooked
the
him.
Bengals
And then the Bengals, Von Bell rocked him. Oh my god.
I think he was out with that
game.
game for a concussion.
No, he got hit and he fumbled on a play. But the Patriots, this win doesn't mean anything. It's the Jets without Breece Hall, and the Jets are going to get walloped this week.
And the Patriots barely scooted by.
Yeah, they should have won by more. Titans, Texans, Derrick Henry.
Garbage time touchdown at the end.
Derrick Henry, when he plays the Houston Texans, is the best football player ever.
That sort of give me Derrick Henry against the Texans gives him the same vibes as T.Y. Hilton against the Texans. When T.Y. Hilton always played the Texans, T.Y. burned the Texans.
Well, considering the last 4 times he's played the Texans, he's put up over 150 yards rushing. It might be 200.
Every single time T.Y. plays the Texans, he puts over 120 yards receiving.
I think I'm right that the last 4 times that Derrick Henry's played the Texans, he's put up 200 yards.
The Texans have always been the worst team in that division, except
they had 3 years in a row when they won the division.
Yeah, but 3
At
years
9
out
and
of
7.
20 something.
3 years in a row. It was recent though.
I know.
Watson era.
Yeah,
God,
but that team's gone. JJ
take-
Watt gone.
like-
DeAndre Hopkins gone.
Like Deshaun Watson before everything. I mean, he was a
Great
top 3 quarterback.
Yeah,
Watson's
I
phenomenal.
wouldn't be shocked if they had a Super Bowl at this point, if he never got because
If they don't trade away D-Hop,
they don't trade away D-Hop and they don't trade away JJ, I think they might have had a Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, they almost beat the Chiefs. They would have. If they beat the Chiefs, they would have beat the Titans. We would have seen the Texans Niners Super Bowl. Niners would have won that.
Probably. I don't want the Niners win.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry is the most games of all time of 200 plus rushing yards and 2 touchdowns with 6. In second place is LaDainian Tomlinson with 3. And now that's all we have for that game. Dylan, you want to move us on?
Yeah, Giants Seahawks game of the week in my opinion.
I mean, Tyler Lockett had one of the worst drops I've ever seen. Came back, caught a touchdown. Seahawks are good. They're legit. Pete Carroll, you gotta give him credit where credit's due. He made Russell Wilson look like a competent quarterback. Geno Smith's been great. My favorite quote from this season is week 1 after the Broncos win. Reporters interviewing him. What do you have to say to all the people that wrote you off? And Geno said, "Yeah, I didn't write back." It's a cold quote.
Now my question is, this is a question. Saquon Barkley and Geno Smith are currently tied in odds right now for comeback player of the year. Ooh. Question is, do you think one of them win it, or do you think Derrick Henry wins it?
So, I think Geno Smith's not going to win it. He didn't get injured. He's not going to win comeback player of the year. Saquon and Derrick Henry, they got to be really close in rushing totals. Can you look that up?
Saquon leads, I think, by about 80 yards.
Yeah, Nick Chubb leads the league in rushing. I think Saquon's in second. I think Derrick Henry's in third.
Yep.
Derrick Henry's put up 100 yards the last 4 weeks. Ooh, that's tough.
My bad. Geno Smith actually leads
the comeback player of the
year.
That's just odds, though.
Yeah.
Comes out to the NFL. I think Saquon's played the bigger impact on his team, so I'm going to go Saquon.
Yeah. But phenomenal game. I knew the Seahawks were probably going to win this.
The Titans are top 5. They're not top 5 team. Top 10 for sure. I mean, you've won 5 games in a row. You disagree? You don't think they're top 10?
I think the Titans are only good because of Henry.
Right,
I think you have to rank a team based on their overall team, and I just don't think
let's see.
they're that
Teams
good
that are
overall.
better. Ravens are better. Ravens are better. Dolphins are better. Bills are better. Chiefs are better. I'd say no. Without Jamar Chase, they're nothing. We were going to talk about that soon. Chargers, I'd say, are better.
Minnesota.
Yep, Minnesota. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Seahawks, Niners. Okay, top 12. Top 12 team.
Okay.
That's fine, though, because that's a playoff team.
Technically, yeah.
That's a playoff team, because you know what? The Chargers will take a wild card spot, the Dolphins will take a wild card spot, and the Titans will take... No, the Titans are winning that division.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? Yeah, they're definitely... Yeah, they're
Kenneth Walker, very lackluster this game.
still a touchdown.
Touchdown, yes.
Did you see the DK Metcalf highlight of his fake fade on that set up that Kenneth Walker touchdown? Great play by DK. DK wasn't really a factor. Well, he had a touchdown actually on a laser by Geno. I love Geno, man. Hard to hate him. He's been a top 5 quarterback this year.
I love Geno because...
You agree with that?
Oh, Geno, yeah.
Top 5 quarterback this year. So.
If Geno Smith was Tom Brady or something, he'd win MVP this year. With those stats. No.
Josh Allen. It's not close. Josh Allen leads it by a landslide.
Yeah, but like I'm saying is
Yeah. Moving on to a game which Dylan was really shitting on me for picking the Commanders to win, but you know what? Taylor Heineke, along with Jalen Hurts, they're the only two undefeated quarterbacks in the
I
league.
want Frank Reich fired.
I love Taylor Heineke, man. His story reminds me of Kurt Warner-esque.
I want Frank Reich fired.
Taylor Heineke, phenomenal game-winning drive with a laser on the left sideline to Terry McLaurin, punches in for a 1-yard rushing touchdown. Commanders win their third in a row. Commanders always seem to go on a mid-season run last 3 years. They went on a mid-season run last year. They had a chance to playoffs. Didn't make it. Thoughts?
Why do you want Frank Reich fired, Dylan? Oh, I don't know, Sam. Maybe because he's a
I
horrible
don't think I
head
need
coach.
to ask that question. Yeah, it's pretty odd.
They fired the offensive coordinator when Frank Reich has been calling 100% of the offensive plays for the past 2
I
seasons.
genuinely... What is the point of an offensive coordinator if the head coach is calling the plays? Genuinely.
I want to cry.
No, I'm asking you that question.
I have no clue.
There's no point.
No, I really have no clue. But Frank Reich, horrible head coach. Well, I feel bad for Jonathan Taylor.
I don't. He sucks.
But no. All the rushing plays they're giving him
Yeah.
is straight up the middle.
He's out this week.
Yeah, I know. But they're only giving him straight up the middle plays.
I genuinely think that Jonathan Taylor,
Overrated, yes.
so overrated.
Yeah, he had one phenomenal season. I am actually happy because you know who is starting.
Well, not Naeem Hines.
I hate
Sam
him.
Ellinger.
For running back.
Oh, right. Sorry. Deion Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Which is actually, I like that. He was a pretty good dual threat a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, against his Commanders, he had a phenomenal game. He had one rush for -4 yards. Dylan, that is your starting running back this week. Because we just took Naeem
He was
Hines
in there
from
for
him.
one rushing play.
I'm so happy that Naeem Hines is on the team. He's been one of my favorite, just under the radar players. I love his backflips.
I
and
have
his
never
stats.
hated you so much more than right now.
I don't think Jonathan Taylor. I don't even know if he's a top 10 running back.
Oh, he's not.
All right, let's see. Mixon, Chubb.
Oh, Mixon's not better.
Something I actually forgot that now I'm looking at my poster. Najee Harris is a bottom 5 running
Oh,
back.
that's
awful. He's trying to be Le'Veon Bell. No one's Le'Veon Bell. Bell, prime Le'Veon Bell, top 10 running back of all time.
Okay, back to the game.
Prime Le'Veon Bell.
Back to the
no,
game.
Hold on. 10 running backs
okay.
better than Jonathan Taylor. Derrick Henry. I'd say Dameon Pierce. Running behind the Texans O-line, Dameon Pierce.
I'm not enjoying
Brees Hall,
this segment.
Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift.
Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, David Montgomery, no. Alvin Kamara. Miles Sanders, no. Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard.
We get the point.
Wow.
We get the point. We really get the point.
Just emphasizing
We
it.
so get the point.
I just love going.
Taylor Heineke is so much better than Carson
Taylor
Wentz. I've been saying this. I think
I love
both-
Heineke.
Yeah,
I
you and I
love
both
him.
agree that we don't understand the Carson. Actually, you said you liked the Carson Wentz trade.
I did.
Yeah, I remember you said that. I was gonna say this real quick. Sam Ellinger, he didn't have a horrible game. He really didn't.
Should've been better
17 for
against
23. He was a 6th-round pick. What do you expect from the
Chase
man?
Young actually started to practice this week.
I know, but what do you expect from a 6th-round pick? My complaint is they weren't taking shots down the field.
With what receiving core?
I don't give a shit.
There's
Just
no
take
point.
shots.
They've no receivers.
No. I don't care. It's the fact that they're not taking shots on the field makes it obvious that they don't have faith in your backup.
Looking back on it, genuinely the only reason I predicted the Colts to win that division was because of Jonathan Taylor. Otherwise, their offense is atrocious. They have Quentin Nelson. He's their best offensive player. And you know what? He may be the best offensive lineman in the league, or he's up there. He's definitely top 5.
He is the best.
Trent Williams.
If I had to make an offensive line, I don't know who I'd put, but for guard, I'd put Quentin Nelson as one of my guards.
Right.
Center, Jason Kelsey.
Yeah. Or Creed Humphrey's good.
Creed Humphrey is good, but Jason Kelsey just adds character.
Yeah, but
Batman.
But I mean, Michael Pittman overrated.
Yes.
Harris Campbell. I mean, come on. He's not necessarily bad,
No.
but he's not good.
The fact that they drafted Paris Campbell over Terry McLaurin pisses me off, because Terry McLaurin not only grew up in Indy as an Indy fan, he went to Ohio State, so it's literally a carbon copy of Martin.
Scary Terry, man. If you he's had good games the last 2 weeks, but if he had a legitimate quarterback that's not Taylor Heine GOAT, Terry McLaurin would be much better.
Taylor Heineke's like Trace McSorley this season.
Oh, I love Trace McSorley. I remember
Throwing
like
on a
on
dime.
Tuesday Night Football because it was COVID.
Yes.
Year, the Ravens played the Steelers. I remember screaming my ass off when Trace McSorley stepped up onto that field. And then he threw a 75-yard touchdown to Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. But yeah, the Colts should draft C.J. Stroud if they can, Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, whoever. You need to restart. Okay, you need to fire Frank Reich. Hell, you might even need to fire Chris Ballard.
Colts are going to be bad for at least the next 5 years.
Yes, unless somehow or another something happens. Like, unless Hendon Hooker or like some quarterback they draft is phenomenal, but they're not going to be good.
We don't see rookie quarterbacks take their teams to the playoffs that often. We saw it with Mac Jones. He didn't take them to the playoffs. Their defense did.
Yeah. But let's talk about a team that played phenomenal. The 49ers destroyed.
The team didn't play
the Rams.
phenomenal. I mean, they did.
Christian McCaffrey played phenomenal.
Second player in NFL history to throw for a touchdown, rush for a touchdown, catch for a touchdown in a single game. McCaffrey went off. I think he's the sole reason why I put them at number 5. The Christian McCaffrey effect, man. Because you know what? I don't think there's a better player for that Kyle Shanahan offense than Christian McCaffrey.
Taysom Hill.
They could have, wow. Imagine Taysom Hill, Christian McCaffrey, and Deebo Samuel on one team.
Literally 3 triple threats.
Cordero Patterson, you can add him to that team. Oh my god, that
just sounds like a Madden team.
Because you know
that's a Madden team.
They could get Taysom Hill for cheap.
That's literally a Madden
They
team.
could trade a 4th round pick for Taysom Hill.
Nah, at least a 3rd.
I think 4th.
I think his value went up. Yeah, Rams are ass. They suck. They're horrible. Not good. No bueno. That line is horrible. Stafford is starting to get washed, but you know what?
Starting to get washed? You don't think he was washed after that week 1 performance?
By starting to get washed, I mean this season.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't care. We won a Super Bowl last year. At least I have that.
That's totally valid because I've said to myself before, you know what? If the Bills win the Super Bowl this year and then they suck for the next 10 years, who cares? They won a Super Bowl.
Exactly. And also, it's not like this entire year in football is sucking for me. My Fighting Illini are 7-1. I'm vibing.
Every time we talk about this, you bring up your...
Because I'm having a horrible year in the NFL. Just let me have this, please.
Okay.
Let me have this.
We're
You're enjoying your
We're
Bills.
going to move on to my team. Bills win 27-17 over the Packers. Not the most beautiful win. A phenomenal first half from the Bills. Josh Allen, 2 picks in the second half. You know what? Not everyone's going to be great.
This game was way too close for comfort. Josh Allen, those 2 interceptions were interesting. I know you told me the reason, but I don't want to hear him again. Because quarterbacks make up reasons. But yeah, they were overall good. This team is only going to get better with the addition of Naheem Hines.
Stephon Diggs owns every single defensive back in the NFL.
I dare say Stephon Diggs might be one of the best He's top 3.
Yeah,
in the league right now.
he was talking so much shit to Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas, and he cooked both of them.
Speaking of Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas have just not had a good season.
No, Jair, I consider the second best corner, but
and not anymore. Not this season.
No. Pat Surtain's really good. Jalen Ramsey's been good since
Game 1.
Since Diggs owed him.
Yeah,
God. That's one of my favorite pictures of the season. Right after the on his head.
Yeah, I love that.
Diggs never wears his mouth guard. He actually came out for 4 plays in this game because he bit his tongue and cut his tongue open.
Mm-hmm. He's probably gonna get fined for that. You can get fined for that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen him wear it.
People can get fined for that. Yeah, it was an ugly win for the Bills. They did come out on top.
You know what? Packers are not as bad as their record shows.
No, but they are very bad.
Yeah.
They are better than the Bucks.
Yeah, it's okay. Not everyone's going to be a pretty win. It happens.
That's true. Bengals absolutely got dominated by the Browns.
Shocking game. On Halloween, didn't really watch it. I was out with my friends. But the parts I did see, the Bengals sucked. Browns defense was amazing, and we got a serious thing to talk about. Did Jamar Chase make Joe Burrow?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I get he was injured his rookie year, but how many games did he play his rookie year?
10.
10? He played 10 games his rookie year, you said?
Yeah, he was okay.
He was all right. He
wasn't
bad. But, I mean, what? I don't know what to say.
I mean, T. Higgins had a phenomenal, Moss play for a touchdown. I mean, you know what? They didn't give the ball to their star players. They didn't win. That's been the theme with the Bengals. The games where Jamar Chase does good, they win. And I think that's showing that maybe Joe Burrow isn't as good as we thought.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see, especially for the coming weeks, because he's out for at least a couple weeks.
Nicholas Jamal Chubb, second best
phenomenal.
Second best running back in the league.
Amari Cooper, also phenomenal. Jacoby Brissett as well. I mean, his stats don't show it, but he played a great game.
Saquon Barkley's the best running back in the NFL.
Whoa.
I don't think that's a hot take.
That for you it is. You were riding Nick Chubb for the past couple episodes. Yes, you were. That's a take for you.
Behind that Giants O-line to be that good.
I know, I don't disagree, but that's a take for you. That's a hot
I think
take.
Saquon is. He's the best.
For you, that's a hot take. I don't agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, but like for you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Joe Burrow not look great. Jamar Chase, they're missing him, and they're gonna miss him for 3 more games at least.
All I'm saying is Jacoby Brissett's going to get picked up by someone as a backup.
Well, he has a backup. He's been a backup ever since.
100%. He might get picked up by someone for a starter.
He went to Indy after New England, and he went to Miami, and now he's here.
He might get picked up.
I feel like he played for one more team. No, maybe
Steelers,
not.
wasn't it?
He played.
It just sounds right. I don't know.
Steelers
but-
had Big Ben, Mason Rudolph, and for a while, and
We'll have to look at it.
What was that other guy's name? Ooh! I just had it. Their third string.
Mitch Trubisky.
No, Trubisky was on the Bills, and he was on the Bears. I feel like his name was like Heath.
Oh, Dobbs.
No,
Yeah, Dobbs.
that was not their third string.
It was Dobbs.
Dobbs who?
Who went to Tennessee. He's now on the Jaguars.
No, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the past their third.
Yes, I know he was in the past.
No, it starts with an L.
L?
It was like I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna get this. Not Mason Rudolph. Who was it? I'm telling you. Joshua Dobbs was. I see that, but that's not.
He's
who
a
it
good.
is. That's
I
not
thought
who
he
it is.
should have been the Browns' backup, but nope.
Oh my god. He maybe wasn't their third string.
He's probably.
He started a couple. Duck Hodges. Was the last name?
Duck Hot. Yes, I remember Duck.
They had a guy before that. I know they did. This is gonna bother me so much. Keep saying Mason Rudolph. It wasn't him.
In other news,
Yeah, you can continue.
can I continue?
Keep looking
Okay.
this up.
Well, Sam is pissing himself off. In other news, the Eagles.
Landry Jones.
Landry Jones.
That's
There we
who
go.
it
You
was.
want
I knew it
to
started with an
introduce
L.
this game? Or can I?
Yes. Thursday night game, Eagles-Texans. Texans put up a fight. Eagles moved to 8-0. Not a great win for the Eagles. Messy win. Same thing with the Bills. Doesn't mean the Eagles are any worse than
First
they are. Doesn't mean
8-0
the Texans are any better than
First
they are.
8-0 start of the career, like franchise.
Yeah.
Ever. Houston put up a fight in the first quarter.
First half. It was 14-14. then.
First half. Not, did I say quarter?
Yeah.
I'm at half.
Davis Mills threw a laser to the sideline to Chris Moore for a touchdown.
Davian Pierce played phenomenal.
Then I got bored and I turned on the Thunder Nuggets game since the Warriors game wasn't on.
Yeah, Davion Pierce played phenomenal. Jalen Hurst played better as the game went on. He did not start the game up, right?
No, we did not.
Dallas. Ooh. Dallas Goddard.
Oh, yeah. Great game.
Phenomenal
He
game.
stole all my A.J. Brown points in fantasy. Come on, man.
Exactly. But it could be worse, you know.
I questioned the Dallas Goddard pick when they picked him because, they had Zach Ertz, but it's paying off in the long run.
Zach
so-
Ertz has been disappointing.
I mean, he was injury prone ever since the Eagles Super Bowl run.
Yeah. But that's got to be it for...
I mean, there's not a lot.
There's not a lot to talk about for you. But that's got to be it. But my question is, before we get into the picks, who do you draft number 1 overall this year so far? I feel like we've seen enough in college football. Who do you draft? It's got to be a quarterback.
Here's the thing. The Texans are number 1.
They draft a quarterback.
I don't think they do.
Wow.
I think Davis Mills
Who do they
is
draft?
good enough. I think they're going to... Well, I don't know enough about college football. Are there any good edge rushers this year?
None that are worth first overall. The only first overall
You
picks
don't
that
take
can...
a receiver 1. You don't take a running back.
The only first overall picks that I can see going are quarterbacks this year. There
So,
might
like,
be some that I
then-
just can't think of.
Then
Huh?
they take Stroud.
They take Stroud.
I think Stroud's
That would be
better.
funny in my opinion because you got an Ohio State quarterback coming to Detroit, which is
I'm talking about if Houston.
Oh, it's Houston. Oh,
No, I mean no matter what, because you're right. There really isn't that many good
Yeah.
prospects that aren't quarterbacks. Okay, pick time. Colts Patriots. Last year, this was a game where everyone's like, "Wow, Colts are really going to go to the playoffs." They destroyed the Patriots and then they choked. I got the Patriots one in this one.
yeah. Patriots won, there's no doubt. I mean, we could see Sam Ellinger get better, but at this point, you're taking the dive for a good top 10 pick, so you can get a quarterback.
Yep. Packers Lions. Packers
Lions. This is the game.
without hesitation.
This is the game.
Lions are the worst team in football.
This is the game.
Yeah, the Packers have lost 4 in a row.
I think this is the game.
I kind of forgot the Packers were 3-1. They started their losing streak by losing. They lost to the Giants, the Jets, the Commanders, the Bills. Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a weird feeling. I think the Lions somehow pulled this off.
I don't think they will.
I don't know why. It's just one of those ones where like no matter what you say, it's just a weird feeling.
The Packers own the Lions and the Bears. Vikings, they seem to split every year. It seems like it's been that for my entire life. Chargers, Falcons, Choke Bowl. We saw this game, I believe, 2 years ago because I remember hearing about Choke Bowl. Like you said, Falcons are up and down. I think the Chargers are the better team, and they've been pretty good.
Really? I think
Chargers
the Falcons win this. I really do. I think the Falcons win this game.
Austin
Solidify their
Eckler.
lead over Bucks.
Austin Eckler is great.
Yeah, we know. We know you like Austin
fantasy,
Eckler.
man. He's like the only NFL player that cares about your fantasy team. He has like
Because
his
he
own
probably has his own fantasy
He
team.
has his own podcast about fantasy football. Bills Jets. This game's not gonna be close. The Jets have no offense without Breece Hall.
The Bills are going to win by 30 points this game.
It's like, you know what? I've seen so many promos hyping up this game, and I'm so mad because
It would be hyped up if Breece Hall
I'm
was playing.
so mad that we do not get this game because of the. Sorry, I almost dropped an F-bomb. Because of the Dolphins. I don't want to watch Dolphins Bears. I'd much rather watch Bills Jets. Any normal person would rather see Bills Jets.
I
Like,
would
it's
rather
not
see
just
Bills
my
Jets.
bias. Yeah, like you're just proving my point. I don't want to watch.
Speaking of the Dolphins, I have the Bears winning that game.
No. It's in Chicago. It doesn't matter.
I have the Bears winning
The
that
Dolphins
game.
are the better team. No other way around it. The Dolphins are. Who?
You know what? Can we
Here's my here's
fast
my
forward
question
to when
you.
the Bears
Hold on.
win next?
Here's my question to you: who's covering Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
Chicago fans.
Exactly. That's why the Dolphins are going to win this game. Vikings, Commanders. I think the Vikings.
destroy the
Vikings are going to go to 7-1.
Yeah, the Vikings destroy the
They're
Commanders.
not. They're not that good of a 7-1, but
It matters how big this win is.
yeah. Doesn't matter. It's a Commandos. Yeah, they're 4-4. They've won 3 in a row, which is pretty impressive. They beat Chicago, Green Bay,
And then Panthers Bengals.
Panthers, Bengals. Ooh,
That's an interesting game. That is a
Bengals
really
are still
interesting.
better.
I don't disagree with you, but it's really going to be interesting on
Bengals.
how they play without Jamar Chase again.
They still have T Higgins.
I think
Tyler
Bengals
Boyd.
win this, no doubt in my mind. But there's a chance.
It's just like the whole thing with like, oh yeah, Joe Burrow's not good with Jamar Chase. He still has T Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
It's going to
like,
be interesting to see what happens.
Raiders, Jags, Raiders win. It's not going to be
It's
close.
only a 2-point spread, but yeah, Raiders won that, no doubt in my mind. That's just obvious.
Seahawks, Cardinals. Seahawks are a better
Seahawks
team.
destroy the Cardinals. I'm kidding. They win by at least 10.
We don't have an AFC South matchup this week. Nice. Give me a fist bump for that.
Are you going to tell me the Cardinals are actually favored? Cardinals are favored by 2 points.
Why?
It's in Arizona, maybe?
Okay, I think home field advantage genuinely is overrated.
Yeah, unless you're in
So,
Seattle.
so there's teams that make a difference, right? Being in Seattle, being
Kansas
in
City.
yes, being in Green Bay, being in Buffalo, being in Miami.
Being in SoFi as a 49ers fan.
that helps you.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I think there's like really 5. There's Philadelphia. I'll say 6 places. Miami, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Kansas City,
Did you
Seattle.
say Miami?
Heat.
Oh, the Heat.
The
Not
6
the
degree difference,
actual
yeah.
fans.
I think that
The-
makes a big difference. I
Okay.
think Buffalo because of the fans and how cold it is.
Yeah.
Green Bay, how cold it is in the atmosphere. Kansas City, the atmosphere. Seattle, the atmosphere.
Speaking of Kansas City's going to destroy the Titans this weekend.
Ooh, I disagree. I
It's
have
in
the
Arrowhead.
Titans winning that game.
What is wrong with you? Really?
Who's stopping Derrick Henry? The Bills ran. The
Chris Jones?
Devin Singletary averaged 6 yards a carry against the Chiefs defense, and he ran the ball like 10 times.
I think this is more or less the situation of the Chiefs offense is just going to shoot out the...
Yeah, Kevin Byard. He's gonna be able to cover those deep shots. He's gonna come down south.
Yeah,
and
but we
run.
always say someone's going to cover it, and then Travis Kelce just somehow always gets 100
I have the
yards.
Titans upsetting the Chiefs, and I have the Titans winning their 6th game in a row and taking the 2nd seed.
I don't like that take at all. That is probably one of your worst takes I think I've ever
I
heard.
don't think it is. I think the Titans are a good team. If the Titans win this game, they're easily a top 10 team if they win this game, right? Easily.
I just don't agree with this.
Rams Bucks battle of disappointment, rematch of a great divisional
I
game
think
last
Rams
year.
win this though. I really do. I think the soulless Bucks are worse than the injured.
And I
Rams.
disagree.
That's fine.
The Bucks winning. I think the Bucks have a better roster. Bucks still have a great defense. The Rams defense has underperformed.
Well,
Bucks
yeah.
defense has performed just as well.
I still have the Rams winning.
Shaq Barrett's out for the season, but no, I think the Bucks are gonna win this one. The Bucks lost them twice last year, right? No, the Bucks
Yes,
beat the
twice.
Rams. No, the Bucks beat the Rams last year,
Nope.
right? Oh, right. Who'd the Rams lose to early on in the year?
Cardinals. Cardinals.
What week?
We started 3-0. Week 4, we played at SoFi. We lost.
So you beat the Bucks week 3.
Uh-huh.
Because week 2 you played. Week 1 you played the Bears on Sunday night.
Oh, week 2 was Seattle. That's the game Russell Wilson got injured.
No, that was week 5.
Nope.
The second. No.
Hold up. But anyway,
Looking it up. Nope. This matters.
This matters.
Rams. I'm pretty sure it was either week 4 or week 5 that Russ got hurt.
No, it was not.
I think you're wrong.
Because Geno Smith came in
I don't think that week
2.
Hold on.
I'm gonna laugh when I prove you wrong.
You totally could be. You know the Rams better than I do. Okay, so week 1. Yeah, I'm right.
Who'd we play?
Wait,
week 2
hold
then?
on.
No, we played Seattle week 2 in Seattle.
This is the 2020 schedule. I looked up 2021. Wait,
We played Seattle in week 2.
Why is
I
this-
know we did.
hold on.
Because it was in Seattle.
I typed in 2021. It's giving me the 2020 schedule. Hold on.
In other news.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I can't say the Monday night game?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because this... hold on.
We're running a really long episode here
Regular
today.
season, they played Chicago, Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Seattle. I was right. They played Seattle in week 5.
Okay, whatever.
'Cause
In
they
other
blew-
news, Ravens play the Saints on Monday Night Football.
Raiders play the Saints.
Ravens.
Ravens play the Saints. Ravens win.
Ravens win that, no doubt in my mind. There's nothing else really to talk about. In other news, not in other news. Oh yeah, wait, no, there's one more segment we have to quickly do because this episode's really long today because
okay.
we've gotten into arguments.
It's okay.
Trade deadline ended Tuesday at 4 p.m. 10
Yep.
record-breaking 10 trades happened on the day.
So we're going to start with the trade that happened closest to the end of the deadline. We're going to start Dean Marlowe to the Bills. He played there last year. Mostly a special teams player. It's going to help a little bit with Jordan Poyer being out this week and Micah Hyde being out. And after Dean Marlowe blew that coverage against DJ Moore, that's why they trade him. They only gave up a 7th-round pick. It's okay. That doesn't make a difference.
I mean, the big Bills trade is Naheem Hines.
Yeah, and the Falcons made another trade. They got Rashad Fenton from the Chiefs, gave up a 7th-round pick. And like you said, we talked about that. Bills got Naeem Hines. They traded away Zach Moss. He was good his rookie year. He sat on the bench most this year. And the Bills also sent a conditional 5th round.
Big gamble for the Jaguars trading for Calvin Ridley. Pun intended.
It's like they pre-ordered him.
Exactly.
I
like this trade.
It's actually a
actually
really good trade. I think the Falcons
It
got
is funny
Falcons made a lot of
because
trades.
Calvin Ridley did bet
against
against the Jaguars.
I think that this is a really good trade. I think they fleeced the Falcons.
Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. We made our comments on that earlier.
Yep,
I
we said-
like the trade. I don't like the contract.
Yeah, and Jeff Wilson back.
Chase Claypool to the Bears. I like it. It's
Daniels.
only a second round
You're
pick.
forgetting about the most important trade.
Which
that
one?
Denver got Jacob Martin from the Jets. I mean, come on.
Right. I'm getting there.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's it.
I like
That's
the
all of them.
T.J. Hawkinson, Roquan Smith that happened earlier.
Right,
Kadarius Toney happened earlier.
Robert
yeah.
Quinn.
Not a lot of star power.
Hankins.
We were all expecting a Brandon Cooks trade to happen. I know I was. But the Texans were asking way too much for Brandon Cooks. Did you see what they wanted?
No.
They wanted a 2nd and a 4th and them to take his entire $18 million salary.
Yeah, that's fine.
Huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Really?
Only a second
$18
and a
million
fourth.
salary.
2nd and a 4th for Brandon Cooks.
But it's the entire salary.
Yeah, but you know what? You can always get more money. Trade I actually really forgot about that happened earlier, that the Browns got Deion Jones. Deion Jones was really good in Atlanta, and I haven't heard his name a lot.
Oh, because he's been injured. I'm pretty sure they activated him actually off the IR. I think he actually played in the Browns Bengals game.
We can look. Let's see if I click on that game. See if he recorded any stats.
I doubt he did. I doubt he actually played, though.
Deion Jones had 3 tackles.
Good
and
for him.
He had a
He's back.
sack.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
And-
I like him.
Anyone else?
I'm Sam,
And I'm Dylan.
and
This was the Last Minute Sports Podcast.